Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Go. All right. Good morning. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte begins the second leg of his three-destination official and working visits to Phnom Penh, Kingdom of Cambodia, Hong Kong, SAR, and Beijing in the People's Republic of China. The highlight of his visit to Phnom Penh was his plenary talk in the World Economic Forum on ASEAN. As current chair of ASEAN, he addressed issues and challenges faced by the region, highlighting how the Philippines will sustain ASEAN's community building process, focusing on inclusive growth. Today, we have invited the cabinet secretaries who presented issues germane to the major thrust of the Duterte administration's campaign against poverty by providing employment and business opportunities for the Build, Build, Build infrastructure program, support MSMEs, and tax reforms, all calculated to put more disposable income in the hands of the average Filipino. Later in the afternoon, the President will meet with members of the Filipino community at the Grand Ballroom of the Regal Airport Hotel before proceeding to Beijing. We'd like to introduce to you Secretary Mon Lopez of the DTI, Secretary Artugadi of the DOTR, Senator Mark Villar of DPWH, and Senator Ernie Pernia. Ambassador, all right. Am I good? Okay. Secretary Ernie Pernia. Okay. And of course, Vince Dizon, President of DCDA. All right. Just to start, we'd like to ask them to give a 1-2 minute presentations of what their position was and what they presented, or a summary. So I'd like to begin with Secretary Artugadi.
Good morning to you all. Ang international medical. The trust of the Department of Transportation in this working trip of the President is precisely to present to the international family of nations what are our infrastructure projects related to the Department of Transportation. We highlighted certain things which, for the first time, will be happening in the country. Foremost of which is, number one, the subway. A subway which will soon hopefully be a reality in the country. We will highlight, and we have highlighted, what we are doing insofar as the airports are concerned. What is our railway system that is supposed to be in place in our country during the full term of the President. We have also indicated and have intimated to the family of nations about our maritime trust. Already in the last couple of weeks, we have started what we call the RORO, the roll-on, roll-off, roll-on nautical highway, where we have started the connectivity between Indonesia and the Philippines. With this business model being put in place, already we are being sounded out by Malaysia and Brunei to do a similar navigational relationship, because we feel that being an archipelagic area, we feel that it is through RORO, among others, that will give us the connectivity and mobility. In maritime, it is imperative also that we create and establish ports as we refurbish and improve existing ports, and complement this with the equipment that will travel from port to port. As you can see, in this visit we are trying to show and underscore another picture and feature of President Duterte. Emphasis has been made on President Duterte's effort in doing safety and security and corruption. In this, our visit, we are trying to show the economic persona of the President, that he will also handle not only peace and safety, but more importantly, the economic development of country in relation to the developments from within, as we consider the relationship from without. hopefully we can see a completed persona of President Duterte, one that is very uncompromising in corruption, one that is very committed in peace and security, and one that is concentrated and concerned with the development of and growth of our country. This is the dimension we are trying to reach in this working visit of the President.
We'd like to appreciate the summary that Secretary Tagali has given. We're going to be open now for a few questions. If there are any questions you'd like to ask, yes. Please ID yourself and.
Sir, I'm Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA. Sir, can you please expound on the subway project that you mentioned?
Okay, ma'am. Let me put into geometric presentations the subway. Number one, it is between 23 and 25 kilometers covering 14 stations. Number two, that there is a feasibility study that will be about to be completed. A feasibility study which will serve as the foundation in establishing the cost of the project, and it will serve as the trigger in doing our negotiation to have a financial package. And number three, we have mentioned before, as we would like to mention again now, JICA, which is spearheading this project, has agreed that the loan agreement between Japan and the Philippines hopefully will be formally signed in November, when Prime Minister Abe would have visited the country. The signing will be done, hopefully, between President Duterte and Prime Minister Abe.
This is Doris Bigornia of ABS-CBN. Morning, sir.
Good
This
morning,
is in the signing between Abe and PRRD. This is in November.
Yes, ma'am. Targeted to be November in time for the ASEAN meeting of the world leaders.
All right. And
Hopefully, prior to that time, the details on the feasibility study, the engineering design would have been finalized and completed.
And how much would the subway project cost, sir?
Again, as I mentioned earlier, targeted ballpark number will be between 290 to 300 billion. However, as I mentioned earlier, a lot would depend on the engineering details, engineering design details, and the feasibility study. That is the ballpark figure.
Okay. Sir, you said that this is in line with showing the other side or the other persona of the president, economics, progress, development, and how would this go hand in hand with the security situation in the country?
Very well said, ma'am. Let me say that the security situation of the country will be one of the platforms upon which the build can fly and can go. Because you can build and build and build, but if there is no security and peace in the horizon or in the surrounding, where will the building go? Number two, I mentioned about no corruption. Again, this is another platform upon which a successful economic development program can stand. Okay? No corruption, it levels the playing field. But you have to marry this with two things. The no corruption, the peace and order, you have to marry it with two additional platforms upon which this build project stands. Ano ho yun? Number one is what we call transparency and accountability. Already in place, done by BCDA, spearheaded by BCDA, is what we call the Freedom of Information Platform, upon which you can see what are the projects, who are interested in the project, what is the status of the project, where is it going as of the moment you want to find out. Number two, as initiated and started by BCDA, we do live screening on bidding. Live screen ho, nakikita. That is full transparency. So, no corruption, peace and order, full transparency and accountability. The other platform upon which all these projects stand is what I call reducing processing time. Okay? Gone will be the days when approvals are done after a long period of time, say 6 months, 1 year. we have reduced processing time. Processing time insofar as project approvals are concerned, processing time insofar as PPP is concerned, and bidding, etc., etc. All these four will serve as the platform upon which the infrastructure project stands. Now, if you marry this peace and security, no corruption, and you have the project and you have the transparency, hindi ho ba total package yun in terms of pushing the economic program?
All right. Before we go to the next question, we'd like to give the microphone to Secretary Ernie Perny of NEDA.
Yes, good morning. An important part of the conference that we have presented to the media and to the participants in the WEF forum is the Dutertenomics. Dutertenomics is simple. Can be described as the thrust of the economic agenda of the president, which is regional and rural development. And regional and rural development is important because this will address the huge inequality in our country in terms of incomes across households as well as incomes across regions. And this is really the nub of the economic problem of the Philippines. And this regional and rural development will be accelerated by the Build, Build, Build program, which is concentrated more on the regions than on the developed mega urban industrial region comprising Metro Manila, Calabarzon, and Central Luzon. So most of the projects under the Build, Build, Build are in the regions. Those in Metro Manila will essentially be to connect better Metro Manila with the regions, so that not everybody will be concentrating in Metro Manila. Not businesses will not be concentrating in Metro Manila, but improve the access across Metro Manila and Calabarzon and the other regions, as well as among the regions in the outlying areas of the country, Mindanao, Visayas, and Northern Luzon. That's really the essence of Dutertenomics.
And I'd like to add also that during the conference, marami po nagtanong kung paano po namin gagamitin ang budget, dahil ito po yung pinakamalaking budget sa kasaysayan po ng ating bansa. And when they asked in terms of the DPWH, concerned din nila yung mga our programs for disaster resilience. And they said that this year we'll be spending almost a third of the DPWH budget's resiliency programs, preparations sa mga natural calamities, natural disasters. We've also allocated a fourth of our budget, 100 billion sa decongestion program, which is nationwide. So all these programs in the DPWH are designed to unlock the potential, kasi napakalaki po ang nawawala dahil sa traffic, dahil sa natural calamities, and we feel that this will be one of the ways in which we ensure na tuloy-tuloy po ang paglalaki or pagtataas ng ating GDP growth. So, and it's also important that the President was also very adamant that under this administration, wala pong corruption, we'll have zero tolerance for corruption in all these projects, in all the agencies. And we're very firm about that. Kaya meron po tayong mga transparency, meron po website, nakapost na po yung mga biddings, yung mga details ng mga projects to ensure that there will be no corruption and that there will be absolute transparency in this golden age of infrastructure.
All right. Before we open to questions, we'd like to recognize Secretary Alcusi, who's with the DOE, and then after which we detain questions, and then we'll ask the other secretaries to expound some more issues relevant to them. Any questions? Q&A? Yes.
Ben Tisharna from CNN Philippines. I'm just curious as to the reception of the international business community when you presented that Duterte economic persona? What was the reception?
We can ask either Sec Mon or Sec.
Okay. Well, the other feature, by the way, of Dutertenomics, which is very important, is speed in the planning, processing, and execution of projects. So, meaning that we are going to depart from the practices of previous administrations for projects to take so long to get processed and implemented. So President Duterte is action-oriented. He admits that he's impatient because he wants to get things done quickly in order to alleviate the suffering of people in the regions. Poverty alleviation, reduction, and inclusive growth. These are really the features of Dutertenomics.
Okay.
So what was the reception?
Sec Mon.
The reception. The reception was pretty good. As you could perceive and infer from the reaction of the media as well as foreign personalities who were in the press conference and in the presentations in the different fora of the Dutertenomics and the build. Thank you.
Sige. If I may add, siguro it's about time we correct also the misperception on the president. You know, every time we're out and we usually accompany the president, he's the one that's really becoming some kind of an economic ambassador as well. He's not only known for the drug campaign, anti-drug campaign, addressing criminality and all that. That's very well recognized, and the international community also understands that those are the basic foundation if we are to develop a very robust economy. What I meant by becoming an economic ambassador is the one, whenever he's faced with the leader, the counterpart, you know, he's the one promoting trade. He's saying, please let us balance the trade. We import more from you, for example, that's practically true with respect to China, our trade deals with them, even with some Middle East countries in our last visit. He's been the one saying that buy more of our products, Philippine products. He will be also inviting investors to ride on the economic growth that we're having. That he will mention the infrastructure program in general, and then he will lead to, you know, this infrastructure program will help prepare our economy, you know, to absorb, to encourage more investments. And then, kasi itong mga infrastructure programs are not only the roads and the transportation, these infrastructure programs actually help bring down cost of doing business. And pag naririnig na ng ibang ng mga foreign investors, they automatically would realize that it's getting to be a better business environment for the Philippines. So, sasabihin niya, more investments, come to our country, invest, and minsan may sinabi pa nga siya, invest and get rich. You know? Parang you ride on the economic growth, because he would say that we have a huge population, the growth rate is also high. Sasabihin niya yung mga 6.9%. And yesterday, after we reported to him that our exports figure grew 18%, natandaan niya, and he mentioned it during the forum. Sinabi niya, yeah, our industry is up, economic growth is up, even exports is up. And then sabi niya rin, the investments from China also grew. And then exports, he cited $2 billion, because which is true. As you know, after we've strengthened that relationship with China, China immediately ordered $1.7 billion and another $100 million on actual purchase orders. So he can really present the bright developments, the very good developments that our country is experiencing. And he's really pushing for that because he knows those things, investment, trade, industrial development, developing competitive industries with all this infrastructure development, alam niya, this will create jobs. Kasi ang bottom line kay President, gusto niya talaga magkaroon ng trabaho, magkaroon ng negosyo ng mga kababayan natin. Talagang ma-empower sila, lalo na yung mga nasa baba, na lahat pwedeng umasenso, lahat pwedeng magtagumpay. So, sinasabi yung prosperity for all na drive natin. And that to us is the real lasting solution to poverty alleviation, which is really the mantra and the main vision of our president, and of course the economic and the whole team. Thank you.
Vince Dizon of BCA would like to add a few things.
Thank you very much. Good morning po. Siguro po dapat makita lang po natin yung konteksto ng Dutertenomics in the overall vision and beliefs of the President and the administration. Because I think what some of the critics are saying now is that they seem to be saying that this Dutertenomics, this bill, is an aside to the peace and order platform of the president. In fact, some have even insinuated that it's a way for us to divert attention. This is absolutely false. No, absolutely false. And I'd just like to echo exactly what Secretary Mon Lopez and Secretary Tugande have said. The president, from the very beginning, and when I say beginning, from the beginning of his political career, has always believed that the foundation of economic progress is peace and order. Hindi po pwedeng magkaroon ng economic progress, hindi po pwedeng umunlad ang ekonomiya kung hindi secure ang ating lipunan. Bakit ko nasasabi from the very beginning? Kasi ito ang ginawa niya sa Davao. Davao is the story of how fixing peace and order first leads to economic progress later on. And this same principle is what President Duterte is trying to adhere to as President of the Republic. So, kailangan pong maintindihan natin mabuti yun na ang foundation ng paglago ng ekonomiya ay seguridad, ay peace and order. Ngayon po ay roll out po ng administration ang kanyang economic platform. Ito nga pong Duterte Economics, Dutertenomics. And I think the Build program is the key ingredient to this. Kasi nga, kailangan nating mapalago ang infrastruktura natin na napag-iwanan dahil sa kakulangan ng nakaraan. Kailangan tapatin natin ang sarili natin doon. No? Kailangan natin maghabol ngayon at mapabili, sabi nga ni Secretary Ernie, kasi nga, yung mga dapat nagawa na dati ay hindi natapos. So, yun po ang pinipilit natin gawin ngayon. And I think the plans are there. We are very transparent about them. They're all on www.build.gov.ph for everyone to see, including, of course, our friends in the media, our friends and partners in the media. And I think this is a perfect way to hold the government to account na talagang siseryosoy, na talagang hahabulin natin ang paggawa nito mga kinakailangan mga project na ito. Yun lang po. Thank you so much.
Secretary Tugade would like to add just one more point, after which Secretary Pernia, and then we'll have more Q&A.
Ang tanong ko kanina is, how was the reception of the World Economic Forum with the economic persona being projected by President Duterte? Let me address that by saying, beyond the applause, nagpapalakpakan pag nagsalita siya, meron hong mga pulong-pulong na ginawa ang ating Pangulo, where I was privileged to attend one. Tawag ko doon is bilateral talks. Nakausap ko namin yung AirAsia, na kung saan sinabi ng AirAsia si Tony Fernandez, Mr. President, just to show my faith in your country and my trust in your leadership, I am ready to expand my air travel coverage in Manila. Now, in Katiklan, I can go to Puerto Princesa. I can fly to Davao. And Mr. President, if the law would allow, I'm even ready to help put up airports. This is a specific, very clear indication on the acceptability of the President's leadership insofar as his economic program is concerned. Tama ho, nagpapalakpakan, nagtatayuan, but beyond the standing ovation and the applause is a commitment to invest in real terms in our country. That to me is a glaring manifestation of the very well accepted economic program exemplified and perorated upon by the President. In fact, lagi niya hong sinasabi, know me as a peace and order man, know me as a corruption buster, know me as a fighter of drug users and drug habits. Why am I doing this? Because I'm setting the environment for economic development. Ito ho yung ikinakalat niyang posisyon na tinatanggap naman ng mga negosyante, specifically doon sa World Economic Forum na kung saan I was blessed to attend a bilateral and I was witness to that.
Thank you.
I just want to add one quick point on what BCDA President Vince Dixon made about the importance of peace and order for the economy to thrive. And if you recall, shortly after, or even before the President assumed office, shortly after he was elected, there was a 10-point agenda, socio-economic agenda that was discussed, that was presented to the media by the President's people at the time. And actually, it's not a 10-point agenda. Remember this, it's a 0 to 10-point agenda, socio-economic agenda. The 0 is precisely peace and order, fighting criminality, fighting corruption, peace and order, fighting smuggling, and peace and order. And that's because 0 is the origin of the 1 to 10 points socio-economic agenda. It's the bedrock that has to be addressed, and this is what the President had been harping on during the campaign as well as now. He's addressing that main bedrock of the 10 points economic agenda so that the 10 points economic agenda can materialize. Without this bedrock, then it will be difficult for the economy to thrive and flourish and for the country to prosper. So don't say that it's a 10-point agenda. It's 0 to 10-point socio-economic agenda. And that is what the President has been concentrating on. And he said that in our first cabinet meeting, he said that I will focus on the 0, on the bedrock, and I will leave to you to your own devices matters having to do with the economy, having to do with economic reforms, and so on and so forth.